Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Dan Tech.
Yes, wow.
You went to an event for this thing.
Big unveiling.
Yeah.
Everybody was wondering, is the single player, biggest question was whether the campaign is out. Campaign is out.
Right.
But do we get a lot more for it? And my assessment of what we know currently is yes, absolutely.
So you went to an event, you played it as well, right?
We did get to play the traditional multiplayer, which obviously has some significant changes, but the other stuff that was on the menu, far more interesting than the multiplayer component, even though the multiplayer is cool and all.
Yeah.
But the stuff that we didn't see, I'd say, is way more interesting than the stuff we did see.
Okay, we have to work through all this stuff. It'll be very fun. Let's start with the biggest. I watched that live stream. It was interesting because just on a messaging level, that's what I'm fascinated by in the industry.
Sure.
As I age into the industry, it's more of like, how do you communicate in this hour-long live stream that they're gutting 1/3 of the entire Call of Duty experience and soften it a little bit, right?
Yeah, they did, man, they did. You know what? As somebody who maybe like 1 out of 3 of the campaigns are good.
Sure.
If you have the last 10 CODs.
Well, okay.
And
conservative.
You play those, and I get it. For the people who really love the campaigns, I understand you're losing something, and I do get that. For people like me who are way more into the multiplayer aspects, this is just like I'd much rather have this product.
Yeah. And it definitely seems like they are doing this from like a very much a business perspective of just, hey, I mean, I know people are going to complain about the lack of a single player, but they said, most people play the multiplayer aspects, and zombies has to be, gaining popularity for them to invest in that part of the game so much.
I still don't buy it. But just real quick, because it's very funny how they did this. They said they were out on stage, a lot of pressure, and I was watching the stream just like, how are they going to tackle this? How are they going to address it? And the guy goes up there, I forget his name, and he's like, all right, let's get this out of the way, everybody. Will there be thrust jump in the game? And then a big board, it says, no. It's like, that. I understand maybe for like the hardcore fans.
That was a cheer, though.
No, those are actually really important things.
Oh, yeah, they ran on all those things. Like, is it going to be boots on the ground? And people were like acting like it was the Beatles on stage. Like, boots on the ground.
I mean, honestly.
Tops coming off.
You're right. Maybe addressing that other issue would have been...
I understand.
But honestly, from a gameplay perspective,
stuff,
that's a very important thing. We had all those futuristic titles. We went back to boots on the ground in World War II.
Right.
It's significant.
It is significant, for sure. But in terms of just dodging around the single-player stuff, they use the word...
Sure.
Like, it's going to be a whole universe. They try to, expand the lore.
So here's how it works.
Yes, please.
The single-player aspects of the game will be sort of like in 2 different places, since you'll be able to play zombies single-player now.
Okay.
So if you want that experience, you have it. But for learning all of the different specialist classes, there is single-player missions. So there's sort of like I don't want to say glorified tutorial, but
it's Rainbow Six Siege.
It's basically teaching you how to play the class with a story that happens between Black Ops 2 and 3.
Right.
So there is a narrative.
Some form, but it's going to be little one-offs of like, hey, you're this character.
I would not. You're not. It's not going to be an A to B.
Yeah.
I mean, do you expect people to buy this game and just be satisfied with, in the same way that people would just play the campaign, just kind of call it a day? Do you think people can go into this
Here's
one?
The thing. Like, I know people hate me for this, but I don't understand the person who buys the Call of Duty game and just plays the campaign.
There are lots of people who do that. Yeah,
100%
I know.
Me.
100%. I don't get it, and we're coming. That's cool, and I think that's awesome that you love it. But
thank you, Dan.
Now that we're adding a crazy amount of zombies with ways to get people who don't like zombies into zombies.
I doubt it.
And doubt all you want. They told us explicitly what's there.
Yeah.
What's on tap. Difficulty modes, difficulty settings. You can put it on easy, and a rush mode so you don't have to do the puzzles.
Okay, that does
sound
good.
All right.
Just
get in the story. The stories of those are freaky and great, and that's Treyarch's specialty, honestly. Okay. And then, of course, the elephant in the room, Battle Royale.
Blackout!
That's right.
Holy cow.
And the scope and ambition of that, we haven't seen it yet, obviously.
They had, if you didn't watch the reveal.
Absurd, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like this, they have a teaser video where it's kind of this camera flying through a mesh of
it's
this
very
one layer.
teasy.
So how big is this, Dan? What exactly is this going to be like? What do we know
they
about
have
Blackout?
said 1,500 times as big as Nuketown, the map.
Has anybody crunched the numbers to figure out how that compares to like PUBG's Island or anything?
People have tried to crunch it.
Texas.
People have tried to crunch it, but they've crunched it different ways. I guess because of the dimensions.
Yeah.
So I don't know how exactly it's going to be. But here's obviously the really crazy thing: land, air, and sea vehicles.
Vehicles in Call of Duty.
All throughout the Black Ops franchise.
And all characters throughout, including zombies.
Including characters from zombies. They didn't say zombies explicitly.
Exactly, but including the characters from zombies. That's it. So like
Correct.
in theory, that Jeff Goldblum character from Black Ops 3 will be in this Battle Royale mode in the next Call of Duty.
Absolutely.
That's insane.
Isn't it?
And the most confusing part beyond that is they also said like fragments, I forget how they phrased this, of different maps will be in this.
Let me tell you how it was conveyed to me via my understanding.
And if you could do an impersonation of the guy you're interviewing, I'd appreciate it as well.
I can't do that.
Okay.
But I can tell you that it's not going to be like, with the actual taking actual slices from the map and putting them into the map. So you're walking around on that map. It's more of like inspired locations. A bad example, but a good one would be like Blizzard World in Overwatch. So you've got the theme, right? The theme of this thing from Black Ops here. Maybe you stylize a little differently.
Yeah, but it's going to be more extensive than like, okay, it's just like a cool looking urban environment. And then, hey, there's a mannequin as the reference to Nuketown, everybody.
Right.
Like,
I'm sure it will be, we don't know, but I'm generally positive that it will be a little bit more involved than that. Like the Nuketown area will be not just a mannequin and a sign that says Nuketown, right?
Okay, good. I think it's a really cool idea just to mesh everything together and to create this. Also, I think Blackout, I think it's a good name for like a Black Ops focus battle royale.
It fits. Mm-hmm. It fits.
It totally
I like
works.
it.
And I love just Black Ops as a sub-brand just folding in on itself in this strange way.
I do. And this is what we traded campaign for, ostensibly.
And right.
Yeah,
because it's crazy.
Yeah, to get rid of like, and they also just talk about getting rid of the single player just kind of lets them do whatever. Like, they're not bound by like, well, we have to, stick to the constrictions of whatever story we're trying to tell. We can just make it whatever we want.
There's a couple different takes on this, right? There's those who are like, oh, they're just trying to jump on the battle royale bandwagon. But I see this as a really bold move for Call of Duty, honestly, because we have been living with the staples: campaign, multi, zombie, or some other auxiliary game mode forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really happy to see that at least they're trying something different. We're not getting the same experience that we get every single year.
100%. And I am so sick of looking at Twitter gaming industry snark about battle royale modes. I understand after E3, I'll allow it a little bit. As of right now,
there's going to be a lot of them. Do you know why there's going to be a lot of them? Because they're awesome.
Because they're awesome. Exactly. I am so happy to see Call of Duty do this. I know I wish they didn't get rid of the single player campaign, but yeah, get more fish in there. Why not? It's a fun mode. It could be a super fun experience with Call of Duty mechanics. Why not let them try? F you, naysayers.
Yeah, get in there.
I think
why not get in there?
I think it's always just about like, oh, of course they're like. It's not a surprise whenever and it's never a surprise when someone announces a battle royale mode. So I think if in like. Without that enthusiasm, I think the immediate reaction is just go cynical. Of just like, of course they're going to do this, so it's like bad or whatever. Like, of course they're doing this, but it's like
sure. So you get the of course you
let
do
them put a fun thing in their game.
But even that, they could have just they could have been like, hey, we're doing battle royale, and it would have been not nearly like I said. We haven't seen any of this stuff, but man, like Call of Duty. Choppers just getting in one and flying across the map, like that's gonna be nuts.
That's the biggest surprise for me. It's just the idea of them introducing vehicles, because they used to be like one-off segments where it's like, oh, this is the tank level, but giving you sort of that free form of like, we don't know how this might interact, like this tank might interact with the world,
right?
Like I think it's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah. So the biggest question, maybe not the biggest, but they are not saying how many players are going to be in this battle royale.
They have not, and the reasoning that was explained to me is simply that they haven't decided on that yet by testing.
Yeah. I imagine it's going to be 65 just to stick it to Battlefield 5.
Honestly, that number could be. I'm very curious to see what they will do, especially, man, because they're going to have to keep it uniform, right? But man, with the PC, the PC launch of this, dedicated servers, uncapped frame rate, very nice.
Do you foresee a world where March 2019 they release Blackout as a standalone thing and then continue to support it? And then does every Call of Duty have their own battle royale mode?
How does this really work? Curious question, right? Like, where do they take this? In some ways, I'm sure that this is sort of a test for Activision and the developers.
Yeah.
To see, is Treyarch going to become the battle royale studio moving forward, right? And just
is Treyarch even making this battle royale mode? Are you sure it's not just Raven?
No, Treyarch's making this.
Okay. The rumor that it was going to be Raven working on this, but.
From what the understanding that I received at the event was, they are all about this.
Okay. But yeah, I mean,
that's wrong. Then man, I'm gonna have some egg on my face. Hey.
But look, how does it work then for next year? Just they don't have a battle royale
we don't know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so do they do something different? Do they make the Call of Duty Battle Royale standalone product after seeing the success of Blackout? There's all kinds of sky's the limit.
And make it free to play eventually, just to go into Fortnite territory.
And again, hey, we're already doing bold moves. I can't wait to see where it goes. Let's see what happens.
It'll be on mobile.
There's a lot riding on this.
Yeah.
Like mobile too. That's a thing.
Yeah, and Call of Duty has been experimenting, at least around like the Ghost era. They were pushing into mobile a little bit more and more.
And I could see that. We got Fortnite and PUBG on mobile. Why not?
Why not get that battle royale mode? Ugh.
But that wasn't the only thing. Obviously, I'm really excited about the zombie stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously everything takes a backseat to Blackout. We're all super curious about what the hell that's going to be.
Right. And they try to pitch it even in like following interviews and stuff as this was always the plan from the beginning. We're never going to do a campaign. I don't buy it. Like, because the way they're phrasing that is we're never going to do they said they were never going to do a traditional campaign.
I believed that there probably was a campaign at some point, but when they straight out said there never was one, I have to take it at face value.
But they said there was never a traditional campaign where I'm sure they were putting some twist on it, more co-op elements or something in there in that original concept that in theory they then scrapped.
Do you think it just became zombies then?
I don't know. Maybe.
So here's my crazy theory.
Yeah.
So one of the zombies modes is called 9, right? And all we know about it is that they're sitting around in a circle. They sniff some fumes, some oracle crap from ancient Greece or something, right?
Yeah.
And they're transported back to gladiatorial Roman arenas, and they kill zombies in there.
Yeah.
With melee weapons,
right?
Which are going to be a part of this.
Also insane.
So I figure they can't spend that whole time in that gladiatorial arena, right?
Probably.
The whole mode.
They just
you could
time travel throughout.
I'm thinking you go to nine
days,
different
basically?
time periods. The mode's called 9. Hey, it's a stretch, but I want to get this one out there.
They already have 3 different zombie modes in there, man.
They do. And one of them takes you to Titanic, the other one, Voyage of Despair. And that seems to be your more traditional. That one seemed like the most traditional, like other zombies modes.
But even that had included a lot of stealth and stuff in the emphasis from what they showed so far. So I think it might be a little bit different.
I don't think there was any stealth once the zombies came out. It was just leading up to like the heist element.
Right,
so that's how it all starts.
Okay.
They were trying to steal some ancient artifact that's tied to the creation of these zombies from an ancient occult order, of course, as always. And of course, you find out they're on the Titanic. That looks like that looks more of like the cut and dry sort of zombie experience that we've come to being used to over the last few years.
Right, on a Titanic sinking.
Right, instead of in the 80s at an amusement park or, film noir.
Realistically, end of that zombie storyline, the Titanic's going down, right? And you get
Press
to watch
F
all
to pay respects to the Titanic.
Yeah.
Press F to let women and children board.
Realistically, that is how it happened, but Treyarch zombies are probably the most insane zombies. So I have no idea what to expect from them ever, and it's an enjoyable feeling.
Okay, so Titanic, Roman crap, and then the third zombie mode.
The third is, we don't know what it is, but from what they showed, it looked to be Mob of the Dead, or a remake, or a remaster, or an homage, or a new experience featuring Mob of the Dead, which was a very popular zombies map from Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Okay, gotcha. The gladiator thing, that was a bold move.
Yeah.
For like, hey, zombies and your gladiators. And it's crazy if you look into the history
and you're
of
going to use melee, like you're going to be using swords, shields, maces, and all kinds of other weird shit.
I love having zombies as this creative outlet for the developers. Like, you want
too.
to make a Roman game? Here you go. Have at it,
Treyarch's
Treyarch.
the one that brought it in, with World at War, and now zombies is a Call of Duty staple.
Yeah.
It's such a weird shift of just between World War II, where they were talking about, like, we really want to like respect the troops, and basically, and like you talk about how serious their stories are and take this like basically respect the troops, and then this is just like, I don't know, we're Rome and the Titanic. We'll just add concepts and just
what else you got?
Yeah.
But what's crazy about the Roman thing specifically is
it's crazy.
Vicarious Visions back in 2008, they were making Call of Duty Roman Wars.
Oh boy.
Which was an old like gladiator combat thing. And so it's weird that in theory, I don't know how inspired it would be from that. I don't know if they have any of those old original designs that's like fusing back into this, but it's a weird
question.
tie-in.
Yeah.
It is a weird tie-in. And as always, I think zombies are like the best thing to push the envelope, right? That's the one you take the chances with Call of Duty. So
yeah.
I am super, super excited to see more about this. Obviously, I'm not going to get the hype train rolling until we know more about all this stuff, but extremely ambitious in scope, and I'm very interested to see more.
And the multiplayer feels okay. The like emphasis on characters and focus.
There's
on
traditional
all that
multiplayer too. Who knew?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's great too, and that's the third pillar of this. If you want to, put it in there. So yeah, you got a little more health than you're used to in a Call of Duty. 150 from 100, so you maybe take 2 bullets instead of 1.
And you're like pressing a button to heal.
Press a button to heal manually. It's very fast, almost instant, which means if you get in a scrap and you're able to like just duck behind a crate for even a second, you're back at fully operational. Fully armed and operational. That's right. I had to get it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, it's honestly, it felt good. It felt fun. We got hands on with that, but like at the same time, it was just this other stuff looming over that so hard. Like, don't get me wrong, I love traditional Call of Duty multiplayer, but like these other stuff, like it's like having like I don't know, a piece of candy when you could have cake, pie, and ice cream and all this other stuff just sitting there, but you can't
Plato's
have that.
Dilemma, I think they called it.
Yeah, Plato's Choice. It's a classic.
Plato's Closet.
Plato's Love Cake.
So what do you think about the emphasis on like heroes and characters and abilities?
I don't think the emphasis is a little bit overstated, but from what we did see, definitely if you want it, you can play it more team play oriented. You don't have to take the character specials. You can take just traditional grenades and other stuff in that slot.
Okay.
But the other cool stuff, like if you want to set up respawn beacons to help like your team get back to the fight right on the point, that's great. You can do that. You can do recon for the fog of war, which is really cool. Like you can cut through that. You got, a dedicated medics kind of thing. Obviously, you're not just sitting around healing someone like TF2 or you just, or Mercy or anything like that. But you have more team-based abilities to sort of encourage team play instead of spawn, kill, spawn, kill, spawn, kill, spawn, kill, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But it is a little bit more team-focused. Like I found myself, instead of going rogue and just trying to get those shotgun back of the head shots, sticking with your teammates works out for you.
Good.
Which is, it feels organic. It doesn't feel like you're forced into it or anything. It just feels like you're having a good time playing. You're still getting those big kills, but you're having fun with your teammates.
And one of the weird things on the messaging front too, which is trying to find any way to talk around the single player lack thereof in that stream, is they made a big push, this whole dev diary thing on like, hey, we're making a re-emphasis on the PC version of Call of Duty. This is going to be great. We're having Beanox, the studio, focus just on this. This is going to be great. And the grand reveal of
Battle.net, which I think we all
Battle.net.
It's so big, but I'm pretty sure we all saw this coming, right?
I think it was like, maybe
the writing was on the wall.
But with Destiny, it was like, well, it makes sense. I guess RPG type of thing. And now Call of Duty, it's like, all right, floodgates open. If you're an Activision studio and you don't get on Battle.net,
you're getting
slap in the face.
You're getting on Battle.net now. I think we could just say that, right?
Really? Now everybody, you think?
Not everybody, but it's going to trickle down, right? It's going to be first just the really big ones, and then maybe some smaller ones.
Spyro the Dragon, baby.
That you have to scroll down on Battle.net to get to. Like there are this little.
I love that idea. Serial, do you have a guess? Spyro the Dragon.
Spyro
remastered trilogy. Is it going to be?
No way.
No
way.
Okay, so the
not
gates
a
are
remaster.
completely open.
Not a remaster, dude.
It would sell twice as many on PC if it was on there.
true.
Actually, that's probably not true.
It would sell.
It would sell more.
Well, think about it. You'd be on World of Warcraft, and you'd say your friend is logged in, and they're playing Spyro. You'd be like, man, I want to go play that.
Check it out. But obviously for Activision, it makes sense just to be like, well, let's not give 30% of our money to Valve over and over and over again.
It makes complete sense to me, and having Battle.net's infrastructure is obscene for any game. Like all their social structures and systems, and that stuff's amazing. Dedicated servers, uncapped frame rate. Oh, that sounds great. Seriously.
Oh no. Yeah. Very good.
I can't wait.
So feeling good about it. Black Ops 4?
Again, from what we know, extremely optimistic. Absolutely.
Extremely.
Yeah.
There we go.
And I am sorry if you're going to miss out on the campaign that has some guy mumbling about a frozen forest for 4 hours, and then
I think we can all agree they can do better than Black Ops 3's campaign.
There's offenders out there. Some people like
I'm
it.
sure there are.
Those are bad people.
How dare you?
As I said long ago in the review, I like the fact that they took extreme risk with that and just went crazy with it. But the campaign itself was what sucked, not precisely the story. Like it was just even though they brought in all kinds of cool stuff like wolves and the frozen forest and mind-bending craziness, it was still at the end you're just walking down a corridor, getting behind cover and shooting the same guy for 8 hours. And that's not fun to me.
I like watching Christopher Maloney act. Just
who doesn't?
You know what? I like watching Christopher Maloney act too, more than Jon Snow in Infinite. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Enough.
All right.
Campaigns are fun, damn it. That was just a clip from a larger show called The Game Informer Show. You can find it on iTunes, Google Play, or GameInformer.com. We take the fun opportunities and exclusive information from Game Informer magazine and boil it into a show that airs every Thursday with exclusive cover story information, developer interviews, a lot of fun stuff. So come love games with us.